Alright, UFC 296 is this weekend. I have done so many videos breaking down the fights, but it is time for me to make a big video breaking down some of the more bigger fights that don't necessarily deserve its own video, or don't really need one, right? And these fights are going to be the fight between Ian Garry and Vicente Luque, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Shavkat Rakhmonov, and the co-main event between Alexandre Pantoja and Royval. Now, if you guys are wondering where the prediction for Colby Covington and Leon Edwards is, and the prediction for Paddy Pimblett and Tony Ferguson, well, those fights actually have a video of their own that are up on the channel. You guys can click them in the corner or wait till the end of the video to actually click it at the end of the screen so you guys can go find those videos. And before we get into the fights, just remind you guys to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. And it really helps me out, so if you guys could just go click that, I would very much appreciate it. And I'm gonna go in order here, guys. This is just a simple prediction video. I want to talk to you guys about the fight. So I'm gonna start off with the opening main card fight between Ian Garry and Vicente Luque. Now, Ian Garry has been a popular topic on the channel as of lately. If you guys missed it, of course, there's a whole controversy with him and his wife. I'm just gonna tell you guys, go watch my video if you guys didn't see it already. I broke down the whole situation between him and the MMA guru. So yeah, Ian Garry has not carried himself well at all these past couple of weeks, and he definitely is probably going to be one of the more hated people fighting on the night. But Vicente Luque is a guy that's been in this game for a long time. He had some hype a couple years ago. It seemed like he lost a few, and now this is his way to get back on track. If he gets a win over Ian Garry, maybe he can get a top 5 guy. Maybe he can go into the upper top of the division. Because the truth is, as much as you want to hate on Ian Garry, the guy is good. He's undefeated for a reason. He has a very simple understanding of the basics, and he uses it to his advantage. He also has a massive height advantage over a lot of his opponents and really good low calf kicks. While Vicente Luque has been shown to be a machine, man, he just eats shots. I mean, the fight with Wonderboy was one of the best fights of his career in terms of entertainment, but also the fight with Jeff Neal, that fight he took a lot of damage, and we were worried seeing him come back against RDA. How would that hold up? Well, he won against RDA, and now he's back with Ian Garry. Guys, who do I think is going to win this matchup? I'm gonna go with Vicente Luque, guys. I'm gonna go with Vicente Luque by decision. I believe Ian Garry is rather a big favorite, right? And I think a lot of people are picking Ian Garry because, yes, the guy is undefeated. He's had some good performances. But I'm going to talk about this in the next fight when we're talking about Shavkat, but we're going to talk about this for right now. You got to look past the hype. A lot of people get caught up in the hype, the undefeated, you know, the prospect, the guy that's getting a lot of talk. But at the end of the day, the truth is in the film. The truth is in the fights. You have to watch the fights. And Ian Garry, I mean, look at his resume already. I mean, the guy has struggled against lower level opponents, let's be honest. And while he does have a very good basic fundamentals, and he is very good at range, at the end of the day, I feel like Ian Garry is just missing something. Like, a lot of the shots that he lands are kind of, I don't know, the accuracy is just kind of off from him, and he doesn't really throw shots that really hurt his opponent. Only in his debut was the only shot that was a really vicious shot. I know he finished that guy that dropped him, but still, I would say really the only hard punch was that one punch. That was more of a volume type finish, and Ian Garry does throw a lot of volume, which I do like, especially when this might go to a decision. However, I see the fight playing out like this. I think Vicente Luque is going to push forward. I think we're going to see Ian Garry, who does have some good footwork. I think we're going to see him work off the side of the cage. And I think Vicente Luque is going to land a lot. I think it's just going to be one of those things where he's getting the better of the exchanges. I think we're going to see Ian Garry hurt. The guy has been hurt before. He got hurt in his debut. He got dropped in one of his fights. The guy's chin is there. Vicente Luque does hit hard. I also think that the leg kicks, one of Ian Garry's greatest weapons, in my opinion, will not be there because Vicente Luque has a more Muay Thai stance where he's lifting up that knee. He's going to be able to check a lot of those kicks from Ian Garry, and I think Ian Garry is going to actually suffer more from those leg kicks than Vicente Luque. And like I said to you guys, I put a lot of weight on a fighter's mindset going into a fight. I genuinely think it could affect a lot of things. It could affect, hey, does this guy go forward? Does he have the confidence to go forward? Does he want to make a statement? Does he just want to get the win? And you're going to fight differently based on the events placed before the fight. And Ian Garry has been going through so much controversy. I mean, the guy's never been through anything like this. Everybody is against him. So yeah, I think that's going to play an effect, and the guy does seem upset about the way that people are talking about his wife. I'm going to go with Vicente Luque by decision. I'm going to go with 29-28. Maybe the first round's close. I think it's going to be a pretty clear-cut decision. I think most people will agree with it. I think most people will agree Vicente Luque won the fight. However, I think this loss won't be the end of Ian Garry. I think Ian Garry will learn a lot from this loss and come back stronger. Alright, the next fight I want to talk about is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Shavkat Rakhmonov. Now, this is a fight when initially announced, I was feeling bad for my boy Stephen Thompson. I was like, man, why they got to give him such a hard matchup? And yeah, because there's so much hype with Shavkat Rakhmonov. I mean, the guy is undefeated and has all finishes on his record. But then when I actually started to watch him fight, and I actually started to watch, you know, his performances, his resume, and started paying attention to some of his weaknesses, guys, I'm telling you, and I might sound crazy, but this fight is actually a lot closer than we think. First of all, there's this misconception that I think a lot of people are trying to say that Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to go out there, take down Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and then submit him. I don't think that's going to be the case at all, because Shavkat Rakhmonov is a guy that doesn't really shoot for so many takedowns. Like, if you watch him fight, it usually takes him maybe like a round or two to get into the takedowns. And normally, he doesn't really commit to him. Normally, he's more of a striker that goes forward. He's very aggressive, and that's definitely going to help him in the matchup, but we don't see him go for takedowns, right? Especially we don't see him go for double legs or single legs, which I'm going to get into in a little bit. But yeah, we don't really see him get those takedowns. And Wonderboy's takedown defense is underrated, right? I think a lot of people are going to point to the Bilal Muhammad performance and say, well, he got taken down a lot in that fight. But then I noticed that Apex Octagon is extremely small. Like, it is much smaller than the ones on the pay-per-view. Stephen Thompson needs a lot of room for his fighting style, that bladed stance. He's very long. So that definitely hurt him in that fight for sure. And I think that a bigger octagon will help him defend those takedowns. I don't think it's going to be easy. And there is a chance that Shavkat does take him down at some point, of course, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as it thinks. So if it's a stand-up fight, Shavkat, you cannot be slept on either, because it is a serious possibility that Shavkat could knock out Wonderboy. Shavkat has power in his kicks and his hands. He's very aggressive. And we've seen Stephen Thompson hurt in the past. We saw him get hurt by Kevin Holland. Guys, I'm not joking. My prediction is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson by decision. I cannot believe I'm saying these words. I know you guys might be like, what is going on, Jack? Have you lost your mind? I'm not looking for attention here. This isn't like one of those picks where I'm just trying to be different, because sometimes people make these picks and I think, come on, dude, are you just trying to be different here? This is not one of those things, guys. I've watched the tape. Shavkat Rakhmonov, one of the things about him is he goes backwards when people go at him, right? He doesn't have good head movements. His head is normally on the center line. And we've seen Stephen Thompson go fast. I mean, he is extremely fast. And I just can see, you know, Shavkat getting aggressive and then Stephen Thompson, you know, going, blitzing in that karate style, landing a bunch of punches, pushing back Shavkat and doing it over and over again, defending those takedowns and kicking him at range. I don't think this is going to be an exciting fight. I don't think we're going to see a dominant performance from Stephen Thompson necessarily. But I just think that if we're talking about a 3-round decision, I'm going to favor Stephen Thompson, because I think a lot of the rounds are going to be close. And another thing to keep in mind is this is Shavkat Rakhmonov's best opponent. He fought Jeff Neal, which he is good, but seemed injured in that fight and gave him a lot of problems. He fought Neil Magny, which is a different style than Wonderboy. I can see Shavkat going in there thinking that the fight's going to be easy. The takedowns aren't there, and then he's getting hit with punches. And I think we're going to see Stephen Thompson really take over as the fight goes on. I think he just has to make sure that he doesn't get taken down. Shavkat has to clinch with him. He has amazing trips in the clinch, very sneaky trips in there. Also vicious knees. So I think if I'm Shavkat, you got to pressure him, put him against the cage, get a takedown, try to control him from there, get a submission. Especially with trips, because I think if you try to trip Wonderboy, he most likely will fall. But I'm just worried that Shavkat might not shoot for takedowns, so that's why I'm going to pick Stephen Thompson. I know, massive underdog pick, and I'm surprised I'm picking him, because when I initially heard this matchup, I thought Shavkat would easily win. But now that I'm looking at the tape, I actually think that Stephen Thompson could win. But the last fight I want to talk about briefly is the co-main event between Brandon Royval and Alexandre Pantoja. Now, Alexandre Pantoja beat Brandon Moreno to my surprise. I thought Brandon Moreno was going to take over those later rounds, but I saw that Pantoja really worked on his cardio, right? I find that a lot of his issues is he starts so fast and gets tired later on. I thought Brandon Moreno was going to take advantage of that and beat Pantoja, but that didn't happen. Pantoja had a really good performance, and it was a close fight. However, they did not go with the Brandon Moreno rematch. Instead, they went with a Brandon Royval rematch. And Brandon Royval, I gotta say, he is definitely one of the most entertaining flyweights on the roster, and I'm glad that he's getting this spotlight. He's getting a co-main event slot, because I think a lot of people are going to start liking him. I think this is definitely, win or lose, a great opportunity for Brandon Royval, because even when he loses, he still manages to be entertaining and tough. Now, obviously, this is a rematch, right? Pantoja won the first fight by second round submission, and it was one of those things where the fight was so close, and this is why, in my opinion, this fight is almost impossible to decide, because both guys, if we look at the first fight, I mean, both guys just go at a mile a minute in all fights. They both try to get to the center, try to fight each other, and it was just kind of like such an aggressive match. It was such an aggressive wrestling match. I think that this does not have the chance to stand to 5 rounds. I mean, this would be insane if it goes 5 rounds, and I already think that this is going to be fight of the night. And Royval's been showing his cardio in the embedded series, and yeah, dude, his cardio is just at another level. It explains why his recovery is just so fast in there. We've seen him get dropped, get right back up, kind of like how Colby Covington does. But at the end of the day, I'm going to pick Alexandre Pantoja, because at the end of the day, he's just been chinned before. Pantoja, in my opinion, looks like he's improved since finding Brandon Royval, while Brandon didn't really seem like he improved as much. So I just think at the end of the day, I think it'll go pretty similar. I think it's going to be a crazy pace in the first round. And in the second round, I think it's going to be another crazy pace, but I'm going to go with Pantoja by knockout. I think he's going to knock him down, get some ground and pound across, control him there, and then get the finish, guys. But let me know what you guys think of my prediction. Do you guys think I'm crazy? I know the Shavkat one. I'm waiting for the comments, dudes. I'm waiting for you guys to say that I'm wrong. I'm waiting for all of it. But honestly, it is a close fight. Shavkat could win, and honestly, we just don't know enough about Shavkat, but that's just my prediction. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, guys. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.